Business Talks.
Right here on Radio Me.
Welcome back to Business Talks, and it's me, Kris, with you. ഇന്ന് ബിസിനസ് രംഗത്ത് സെയിൽസ് എത്രത്തോളം ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻ്റ് ആണെന്ന് നമുക്ക് ഒരു അറിവ് തരാനായിട്ട് മിസ്റ്റർ ജയദേവ് മെനൻ, ഹീസ് ജോയിനിങ് us all the way from India. He's a sales coach of Aksh. ആൻഡ് അക്ഷ് എന്താണ്, എങ്ങനെയാണ് സെയിൽസ് ഒരു ബിസിനസ്സിനെ ബൂസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ സാധിക്കുക, അങ്ങനെയെല്ലാം നമുക്ക് അറിയാൻ ശ്രമിക്കാം. ഗുഡ് മോർണിംഗ് മിസ്റ്റർ ജയദേവ്, ആൻഡ് ഹാപ്പി ഓണം ടു യു.
Good morning and happy Onam to you too, Kris.
Thank you very much.
Catching up with you.
In your blog, you've mentioned that reliability, consistency and predictability ഇതാണ് ശരിക്കും ഒരു സെയിൽസിൽ കാണേണ്ടതെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു. So how far a sales team in India or to an extent I would say Middle Eastൽ പോലും ഈ സെയിൽസ് ടീമിന് എത്രത്തോളം ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻസ് കിട്ടാറുണ്ട്, and how far the sales training is required for businesses?
Sales training, first of all, I would say is very, very essential for organizations. But before I get to that, it's a good question that you asked about the importance of selling. You find that the profession of selling itself seems like a last resort for a lot of people. ആൾക്കാർക്ക് എഞ്ചിനീയറോ ഡോക്ടറോ ആവാൻ പറ്റിയില്ലെങ്കിൽ, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരു ആർക്കിടെക്ട് ആവാൻ പറ്റിയില്ലെങ്കിലാണ് സെയിൽസിൽ എത്തിച്ചാടുന്നത്. ഇൻ എ വേ ഞാനും അങ്ങനെ ആയിരുന്നു. I wanted to become something else, an engineer, and then later on I got into sales, but I fell in love with that profession over a period of time, and now I am coaching others to become good salespeople. These words that you used, predictability, reliability, that's all very essential, because you just have to put yourself in the role of a buyer when you go to buy something. These days people have become used to being sold to. So if somebody tries to act smart with them and puts on an act, customers are able to see through that. And they catch on to you, and then they don't buy from you if they think that they are being cheated or being made a fool of. So the salesperson needs to be aware of this and work in a very constructive manner, get into a partnership with the client, understand the client's requirements properly, and then provide a product. And those, in that manner, they make lasting relationships, customers who will keep coming back to them again and again, and they will build relationships for life. I think that is what I'm trying to convey through my articles.
Jayadev, ഈ സെയിൽസ് ട്രെയിനിങ് എത്രത്തോളമാണ് ഇന്ത്യയിലേക്ക് നടക്കാറുള്ളത്, and how far it is helping? Because you have been with Godrej Boys, a company which really values sales, and when you're coaching people, how far are you able to see people giving importance to sales training for the people? അല്ലെങ്കിൽ വെറുതെ ഒരു ബാഗും കൊടുത്തയച്ചാൽ കൊണ്ട് വിട്ടിട്ട് എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ആ ഒരു ആറ്റിറ്റ്യൂഡാണ് നമ്മുടെ നാട്ടിൽ കാണാറുള്ളത്.
Absolutely. കുറേ സ്ഥാപനങ്ങൾ, particularly at the front, lower end of the spectrum, the smaller organization, at one end of the spectrum, there's a problem of investing in training and believing that requirement is training is essential. Like in the Gulf also, I've spent 2 years in Oman. It's very difficult to convince organizations that training is essential for the people. They say that we have employed people, we have recruited people with necessary skill set. They have been in sales previously, or they are an engineer or a doctor, so they are supposed to know everything that is supposed to be done on the job. But the truth is, the world is progressing, methods are changing, there is new way of doing the same old things. Even for driving a car, you can't drive a car the way you used to drive 25 years back. Very Technology true. Has changed. So people have to constantly learn, and that comes through training, constantly training. So in sales too, there are new methods, new ways of dealing with people, new ways of understanding people's requirements, people's tastes change. So organizations that invest in sales training actually do better. And the larger organizations, people with a lot of deeper pockets, or people who are savvy, who are professional, they invest in training. They put people through a process. It is not a one-off thing like a one-day training or a two-day training. Training has to happen over the months, over the years. So I use the word coaching, which is not very popular in the Gulf or in India, but it's very popular in the advanced countries or in the West, where post the training, the manager or another external faculty comes in, works with the people, and irons out all the rough edges so that people become better on the job. So that is only coming into India. In the bigger cities, in the larger organizations, in the MNCs, you see training and coaching happening in a structured way, whereas the smaller companies are doing it in more of an ad hoc manner. So it is very, very essential for people to invest in training and believe that people, although they are good, when they come in, they get rough or they lose the edge as they go along, and so they need to be retrained constantly.
Very
That's
true.
very, very essential.
Jayadev, ഈ ഒരു പോയിന്റിൽ നോക്കിക്കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഇഫ് യു ടേക്ക് ദി വെസ്റ്റേൺ ഹോട്ടൽ ചെയിൻസ് അവരുടെ etiquette, the service what they offer will make you feel that you want to go there again and again. പക്ഷെ നമ്മുടെ ഒരു ആസ്പെക്ട് എടുക്കുകയാണെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ we don't have a proper business mentor who can actually train a businessman. അത് പൈസ ഇട്ടു അങ്ങ് ബിസിനസ് ചെയ്തു എന്നുള്ളത്. And the same is the case with the sales. Like അവർ സെയിൽസിനെ റിക്രൂട്ട് ചെയ്തു and that's it. So how much should a person invest? Like ഒരു ബിസിനസ്മാൻ ആണെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ how much money should he set apart? എത്ര percentage ആയിരിക്കണം should he be setting apart for sales training as such?
Okay, good question. International rule of thumb for investing in people development or talent development, whatever you call it, is somewhere between 3 to 5% of the organization's turnover. You know, sorry, not turnover, so 3 to 5% of the organization's paid salary role.
Okay.
All right. So whatever an organization is investing in the salary of people, around 5% of that should be kept aside for training purposes. And not sales-related training alone, other training too. Managerial skill development or direct work-related functional skills. If somebody is using a computer, helping that person to work on the computer better, or they're using a software, helping them to improve on the software skills. So everything put together, an organization should be investing something in the region of 5% of their payroll in training-related activities. Only then and you said a very important thing, that people put money into organizations, try to build the organization without building, when they make a speech, all the head honchos of organizations would say, our biggest asset is human capital. But how many of them actually work on, they would buy a new machine or put a new coat of paint and buy new windows and new glow signs. But the most important asset, which is the people who work in those organizations, they need to get improved upon. So they need to improve their skills and they need to get better skills and more knowledge. So training is an important activity that organizations need to invest more in as time goes by. And the better organizations, the organizations that succeed in the long run, do that. If you look at the Infosys or the TCS or the Wipros of India, they have invested huge amounts of money in building knowledge centers. In fact, I think the Infosys Learning L&D Center in Mysore looks better than Harvard University. People come from outside India and look on at the kind of setup they've made, Okay. And you know where Infosys stands in the order, in the world order.
Jayadev, another important aspect which I really want to know from a sales coach like you, you are our own Zig Ziglar. It is the aspect of when you actually form a team. ആ ടീമിന് ഒരിക്കലും ദർ ഇസ് നോ ഐസ് ബ്രേക്കിംഗ് സെഷൻ ഓർ എനിത്തിങ്. ചുമ്മാ ഒരാളെ അങ്ങ് റിക്രൂട്ട് ചെയ്ത് അങ്ങ് നാളെ തൊട്ട് ജോലി ചെയ്തോ എന്ന് പറയുന്നതല്ലാതെ ദർ ഇസ് നോ ആസ്പെക്ട് ഓഫ് ഐസ് ബ്രേക്കിംഗ് ഓർ ടീം ബിൽഡിംഗ് ആസ് സച്ച് ഇൻ മെനി കമ്പനീസ് വിച്ച് ക്യാൻ ബി റീസൺ ഫോർ ദ ബിസിനസ് ടു ഫോൾ ഡൗൺ.
Absolutely, I agree with you. I have in fact worked with a couple of organizations which saw exactly what you meant. They merged two teams together and they found that although these two teams worked in the same organization, when they were merged together and brought under one head, there were a lot of clashes because they were working different ways. So there had to be an integration of these teams. And so we went out for 2 days away from work and put them together as a team and worked on things on how they can integrate with each other,
Okay.
and work as a cohesive whole. And you are right on the other thing also, that people, when they're brought into organization, I've seen they will be just given a set of brochures or a manual and say, read these prices, read these features of the product, and tomorrow go and sell. It's not possible to work in that way.
Very true. Product training illade sales like
parnekku. Yeah, product training matram pora, and product training matram ee brochures koduthu product training aayilla.
Ade.
They need to be told, we call it fabbing, you have features, advantages and benefits. So when someone comes and tells you the features of a product, you don't feel like buying it. You need to, as a customer, you would like to know how would you benefit by buying that product.
Okay.
So the person needs to talk the benefit and how to understand what the customer requires, I remember when I was in telecom, we used to go and some of my guys would go and sell to somebody customer and talk about roaming, because roaming was a big feature in mobile phones.
True.
And that gentleman tells them, I have not left this town in the last 10 years. So he doesn't need roaming.
So wrong feature being sold to.
Different offices within the same town. So what this guy has to tell him is that within the same town itself, You don't need to have 5 different phones. You can disconnect your 5 landline connections and use one mobile phone and be in touch at all these 5 places.
True.
You know? So you need to first identify what your customer needs and then sell to them.
Mm-hmm.
So there needs to be a program where the manager or a senior team member has to invest time in this new junior employee joining. Although this person must have been in sales previously, he must have been working in different circumstances.
True.
And selling a different product. So you need to tell them what is it special about this product, how does it get differentiated from other products in the same line, and how to sell it. And what are the strong points and what are our customers buying right now and what are the reasons they're buying, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then the senior guy should work with this guy in the field, take him out, handhold the person into the process. And the more experienced the new boy is, the less time the senior has to invest. But that hand-holding has to be done before you bring the person out and throw him out at the deep end of the pool, so to say.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much, Jayadev, and you are our Zig Ziglar, and we hope to have you again and again and again so that our businesses do improve through your sales coaching.
Thank you for your wonderful opportunity, Kris, and I look forward to talking with you again.
Thank you very much, Jayadev.
Cheers.
Cheers. So that was Jayadev Menon, our own Zig Ziglar. He gave us a whole idea about എങ്ങനെയാണ് sales എങ്ങനെയാണ് ശരിക്കും train ചെയ്യേണ്ടത്, sales coaching എത്രത്തോളം important ആണ് for your business and how you can improve your business